On the first half, we're fighting 2 waves of enemies with 4 Serpent Knights in each wave. In the first wave, the Red Knights are ranged and have relatively low HP, and the Blue Knights are melee and a bit tankier. The key on this half is to group all the Knights together and use AoE damage to defeat them at the same time. I recommend using a Freeze, Taser, or Bloom-based team, which are all great at dealing AoE damage. More important than your choice of team is ensuring that you have a strong grouper, such as Sucrose, Kazuha, or Venti. Here I'm using a Hyper Bloom team with Sucrose as my grouper, and I start the fight by pushing one of the Knights into the rest of the group. Throughout the fight, I'm keeping an eye on all of their HP bars and positions to make sure none of them get left out of my AoE damage. In this shot, we can see that one of the Knights avoided most of my first rotation, so I'll be trying to focus him in my next rotation. Fortunately, he's one of the melee Knights, so he'll just rejoin the group on his own without me having to chase him down. In the second wave, the Blue Knight in front is melee, and the other 3 in the back are all ranged. This wave mainly comes down to whether you can successfully group these 3 ranged Knights. If the 3 of them get too far apart, you end up losing a lot of time chasing them down, and usually won't have enough time left to 3-star the chamber. Going into my second rotation, I again try to focus the ranged enemy that has the most HP. I reposition myself to focus on the Anemo Knight and let my AoE damage deal with the others. On the second half, we're fighting 2 waves of enemies, 2 Cryo Lawatrills in the first wave and 2 Electro Lawatrills in the second wave. Based on these elements, this half naturally lends itself to a Pyro-centric team. I recommend using a Vaporized team with a Pyro carry, such as a National team or a Hu Tao team. I'm using a Mono Pyro team here, mainly because Xingqiu is on my first half, so I just filled his slot with another Pyro DPS. Unlike the other chambers, I found that the hardest part of this half is actually just staying alive. If you get hit by both Lawatrills at the same time, it can one-shot most characters. If you have Zhongli, I highly recommend bringing him into this half because he'll mitigate a lot of that damage and prevent those one-shots in case you make a mistake. Most of the damage is dealt in these first 20 or so seconds of the fight when the Cryo Lawatrills use their opening combo. This is a 4-part attack that starts with a leaping slam into a ground pound, followed by a dash, and ending with 1 more ground pound. I like to hold my first rotation until they start this combo so I can time my 4 bursts to iframe the 4 attacks that come out. If you're using a team with more survivability or are confident in your dodging abilities, of course you can start your combo sooner for a faster clear. On top of that, one of the Lawatrills also has a Cryo Aura that periodically summons a Cryo Cage to damage and trap you. This snowflake that forms underneath you is the warning that it's about to strike. Your reaction time needs to be very quick to dodge it, so try to keep your eyes at your feet, and if possible, bring someone who can tank the damage just in case.
熱々でしょ。話が通じないなら下がれ。そこだ。短所鉄拳。ほれ。
The Electro Lava Trails in the second wave also deal a lot of damage, but they're slightly easier to deal with because their combos aren't as long. Again, take advantage of your bursts to iframe some of their stronger attacks, and try to keep your focus on whichever one has more HP.
みんながそばにいてくれるわ。キッボンくらえ。
分身の術行くぞ。師匠の技を食らいなさい。やだ。熱々でしょ。立縁イン。やほれ。
全力攻撃だ。せい。
The builds will follow right after this, and they're also in the video description. As always, thank you so much for watching.